Over the next 8 weeks, we'll follow 3 sisters through a journey of fitness, health, and self-love.
Hey everyone, Danielle here. I think I start every video like that. But anyways, it's Thursday night, nice and sweaty from Zumba. This week's been rough. Sunday was our first day. We had our first weigh-in, and I was a bit disappointed in myself because I've been through this before, and immediately it was like, how did I get back to this point? The rest of the day, like, my fiance Adam was just like, what is up with you? Like, why are you in such a funk? You know, he hates that word, but I'm going to use it. And I couldn't explain to him. I totally let it do what I said I wouldn't let it do. I was feeling guilty about anything I put in my mouth because I'm like, is this even good for me? I feel like everything I learned in the last year through Biggest Loser, everything, Heather, Erica, everyone's helped me. Like, all my conversation, I just felt like I let it all go, and I reverted back to how I was a year ago, and I freaked out. So I messaged Katie, and I said exactly that, and she just, what did she say? Let's see. What you weigh right now does not diminish what you've done in the last 3 weeks or the last year for that matter. That number means nothing, but I know that's a lot easier said than done. I think you really need to think about why you immediately think it's bad that you weigh more than you did, or why it makes you upset, or why guilt comes into the equation. That hit home for me. That was a huge eye-opener, and I remember reading that at work being like, she's right. Why does a number dictate how you live? Like,
what if it was the opposite? What if you were feeling tired, you were feeling nauseous, you're feeling gross, you're not healthy feeling, but the scale's the number you want it to be? Would you rather that?
No.
Right? So
it's a mind game.
Exactly.
It's
totally about looking at what that number means to you is very important. And, you know, like I just said, it's not something that can just be, yep, no, it's fine. Like, I don't care anymore, right? It is something that you have to break this habit of believing this number means something about you.
Yeah.
I already feel like you're so much farther along, right? You're already at a place where you're like, I'm not trying to look a certain way or fit in a certain size. It's about feeling good and being healthy.
Because I feel like I've already been there and it didn't change anything. Mm-hmm. So I know now, and I feel like you guys are honestly like the reason why. But like I now know that it's not.
You know now that it's not what's on the outside.
Get that out.
No, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah. Slowly. It's a slow process, but I know now that I look back and I know that I've looked a certain way and it didn't change anything of how I felt. So I know now that you have to change your your mental game before anything else. Okay.
Your challenge this week is I want to know why you're doing this, and it can have nothing to do with your sisters. Okay. So I want to know why, for you, this is important right now. So I don't want to hear what happened in the past. I know it might influence it, but it has nothing to do with why you might have done it in the past or why. Because that was something else that we talked about, was how you very much have decided that your journey is your sister's journey, because you're the baby sister.
Yeah, I followed.
And you've seen what they've been going through, and you've kind of just been like, oh, well, I guess that's me too. If they're unhappy, then I'm unhappy. And so that was something we talked about, was learning that you're on your own journey.
I very much think I want to be my own person. But I feel like even like at work and stuff like that, it's always like the sisters. We do everything together. It's like when I was younger, maybe that was the case, because there's 10 years between me and Christina and 7 between me and Michelle. So I always kind of was a tag along, but I feel like now that I'm growing into my own adult,
you're your own person.
I don't want to be Michelle's sister. I don't want to be Christina's youngest sister. I want to be Danielle. I want my own destiny.
So I'll prove it. My week was not great on food. So that's next week's goal, to be honest with you. Because workouts, I worked out every day, except for yesterday was a rest day. So other than that, like again, my workouts are good. It's just my food. I wore jeans, which I never wear. I'm like I'm like this at work too. So let's just be real. But I wore jeans, which were tight, size down than I'm used to wearing, and a tight tank top and a little crop top. And I swore, I woke up that morning feeling fly. I literally wore it all day and everyone was like, oh, like you look so different today. And I was like, oh, that's amazing. Like I felt good. And then every time I walk by a mirror, I'm like, oh my God, and I'm trying to like, you know, I was self-conscious all day, but I heard so many compliments, so I was trying to take them. Yeah. And then what happened? And then that night I got home. I messaged you and I'm like, I'm feeling fly, but I'm feeling self-conscious, but I just needed to send someone a photo of it because it might not ever happen again because I was like super self-conscious. And then the next day, this is the next thing, so I was like, I saw an Instagram photo and I actually saw myself, like, see that there's a difference. I see myself in the mirror one way, and then I see myself on a video, which this is gonna be the real kicker when the first episode goes on, is how I view myself, what other people view me as. And that was like crazy to me because I looked at I literally focused on my legs. And I was like, oh my God, they're jiggling. And then I like reverted like one step forward was Friday, 2 steps back was Saturday. It was like horrible. I was like in a mood, in a like funk, and then I was gonna message you guys and I'm like, no, like fight through it. Like you've done so much, you're so much stronger, blah, 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 blah. I don't know what it was. It was something like I literally like viewed myself on video, which is what this is. And I like reverted like 2 steps back. I'm like, this is not how I think I see myself. But this is how others view me. It's always been that way with people, like criticizing me on something that they don't even know me. They don't even know that I've lost, 80 to 85 pounds already in like 3 years. Yeah. So, but they don't know that part of it. But they can still criticize me for how I look like right now, and they have no clue where I started.
There is always going to be people who are judging you and looking at you in negative light. Yeah. That'll never change, right? I know. And so the best thing that you can do for yourself is to just discredit them before they even have a chance to say anything. Yeah. Because why do they get to decide whether you look good or not? Yeah. Why does their opinion matter more than yours?
Yeah, that's gonna be the mind game with me because it's been like my entire life, like literally my entire life.
Well, if somebody comes up to you and says, you look amazing, you look incredible, you whatever.
It's like goes in one ear out the other sometimes.
But then somebody else comes up and says, you look terrible, I think you look gross.
I had a customer one day tell a fellow, because he couldn't remember my name, and he's like, the one with a thyroid issue. And I'm like, and the guy should have left that be. But yeah, he repeated it to me, and I'm like, to my face, and I was just like sitting there, and then thankfully the guy I work with was like, okay, I think we can say that she has big eyes, or you know, anything other than that. Like, how do you even know that? But that's like literally the shit that comes out of people's mouths.
If you could just go like this and be as strong and able to do whatever, is there something that comes to mind right away that you're like, this would be really cool to do, I would like to do it?
Monkey bars.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, that's like my goal. Even when I was in like elementary school, I could not fathom, I couldn't do them. I tried once and I fell right down. I was just like, just not my strength. Mm-hmm. My strength has always been in my legs, even though I hate my legs. That's where my strength has been.
I have a challenge for you this week, and it has nothing to do with workouts.
Okay.
So just now you mentioned that you have a lot of strength in your legs, and then immediately said, I hate my legs.
Oh my God,
right? So for this week, I don't want you to say anything negative about any part of your body.
Okay.
And I want you to try to say something positive once a day. Without following it with something negative. I don't want to hear, oh my God, my legs are really strong, but I hate them. I want to hear my legs are strong.
My friend always says that. She says I have a beating stick, and what I do is I literally will say a compliment, and then all of a sudden I beat the shit out of it. Yeah. Like, it's just I don't know what it is.
It was like before you even it almost came out of your mouth before you finished what you were saying. You had to quickly say, but I hate them.
Yeah.
So that's for this week. I just really want you to try your hardest to not beat yourself up when you say something nice about yourself. You're allowed to say nice things about yourself.
Oh God, yes.
And you're allowed to like things about yourself without having to tack on something negative at the end. So that's your challenge for this week. I want to hear you. And I want to hear some of them too. You know I'm going to see you, so.
Yeah. Okay.
How was week 1 for you?
Honestly, not great. It was probably it was a tough week, so.
So you messaged me, I think it was Wednesday maybe?
Yeah, Wednesday or Thursday.
Wednesday or Thursday, yeah. And you said that you were failing.
I had a pretty rough week for the first week. I was really down on myself, felt like a failure and a disappointment, and only had made it to one class. I mean, it's very raw doing this for some reason. It's very vulnerable. You're out there, you're having to discuss things that you typically don't, or at least I don't ever discuss. So, yeah, it was, like I say, it was a really rough week. I all of a sudden went from like super excited and pumped about doing, this We Are Driven and being with you guys and just like being so inspired, because I think it's like amazing, to all of a sudden being like, no, I'm fat, I'm over this, I can't do, all these things. And I thought to myself, doing the workout's one story, but the other thing I can offer them is just to be like, we can do this, girls. And like the positivity that I completely kind of forgot about this week, like it's the positivity, giving them like, a compliment once in a while, just about that, like doing the positiveness instead of like the negative, and then the comparison. Like it needs to be, I need to be there in the fact that I'm the older sister, but in the way of like helping them get along with their journey. And if I'm the sour apple who's, crying herself in the bathroom all the time and going through all my emotions, and then portray, because as a family, and I'm very much that person in my family, right? Like I'm the voice, and sometimes the voice is a little loud and a little bit not so friendly. We have all different personalities. Mm-hmm. So for me this week, I really didn't show them, I guess, the love that I could have shown them, because I was having such a struggle.
Instead of putting on this front and saying, you guys are doing great, and then going and crying in the bathroom, I think instead it's coming and saying, you know what guys, I'm struggling. This is how I'm feeling. I'm really proud of you, but this is where I'm at. And talking about it instead of keeping it inside and then letting it come out in anger, or being mad because you're feeling disheartened but you're proud of Michelle, so you're not mad at Michelle because she's not proud of herself, right? Instead of turning that, keeping that all in here and then it just blasting out in the Italian way that we have.
We do.
I think that instead, if you were to open up about maybe what you're struggling with, because you're allowed to be vulnerable, right? You don't have to be this older sister rock that's perfect all the time and that has everything together. You're allowed to be vulnerable. You're allowed to be weak. You're allowed to show this other side to you, because that's what sisters are for, right? Yeah. They're there to support you and to help you and to talk to you. And sometimes because they don't know what you're going through. So when you have those people to really lean on that can say, I know how you're feeling. This is maybe what I do, or this is how I'm feeling. That can kind of not only bring you closer, but help you maybe get out of that crying in the bathroom phase a little faster, right?
I am over 300 pounds, if I'm gonna just say it out loud, and it's like, for me, it's like not okay. I don't know, it was like the first time that I really realized that, I need to really do this. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was like a realization for me. I don't want to be, me on the outside. So, I'm the older sister, and I'm gonna get emotional.
That's okay.
So, I've always wanted to be you look up to me, and I've always been the happiest. And I've always struggled with being accepted. You always say you gotta love yourself from, the inside, but not that I'm saying that's a bunch of baloney, but part of that's like, I wanna feel, confident, and I wanna feel good, I wanna feel healthy and stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I know inside I'm a good person, but I mean, that doesn't show for like, who I'm, like what I wanna be, like on the, like not even the exterior, because I mean, you're gonna love me for who I am, or you're not gonna love me for who I am. That's kind of where I am. But for the health, I just want to feel good. If I want to have a family one day, I want to feel healthy. I want to be able to run with my kids and not feel like I'm, gonna pass out or something,
So I have 2 mini challenges for you this week.
Okay.
I would really like it if you have kind of a rough spot somewhere during the week that you really try your best to open up about that. So whether it's to myself or Miguel or one of your sisters, which you have been doing with me really great. Mm-hmm. So maybe somebody else.
Someone else, okay.
I mean, you can always message me as well,
yeah,
100%. Yeah. But I would also like to see you open up with somebody who you haven't been open with in the past, or that is a little bit harder for you. And second of all, same kind of thing that I asked you last week, I really want you to focus on these positives. So next week, I really want to hear from you what you're proud of this week. And I don't want you to just be like, oh, whatever, this or that. I want you to really think about it. And I want you to really realize that whatever you choose, 100% doesn't matter what it is, you do have a reason to be proud for that. And that's a win, period. So those are my two little challenges
Okay.
for you this week.
Okay.